Hi there everyone, and today on Classic Reviews, we are reviewing a covers album. With me, when it comes to buying covers albums or tribute albums, it does depend on what artist or band is covering the songs and the songs that are being covered. I will admit, I haven't bought covers albums by bands like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Def Leppard, etc., purely because I don't know most of the songs they're covering. And at the same time, I haven't bought a Kiss tribute CD or a particular Kiss tribute CD because I didn't know the majority of the artists that were featured on it. With this covers album, I will admit I don't know most of the songs being covered, but I brought it purely due to loyalty to the artist and because I had the first edition of a covers album he did. So you can't have one without the other. So this covers album is called, don't know how we can see that, it's called Origins Volume 2, and it's by former Kiss lead guitarist and probably my favourite Kiss member, Ace Frehley. So, before I do the track by track, I'll talk about the packaging or the CD case quickly. He has, he has a great front cover, and you do see Ace Frehley looking cool there with his trademark sunglasses and Les Paul guitar. And the background is basically like a big reference to him being the real Space Ace. And it does and it does feature. You can't see it very well, but I'll do the best I can here. Can't see it very well, but it does feature a few pictures of him in his Kiss days. It also again you can't see it very well, but it also features a picture of the first Origins album, and the back cover is pretty similar, really. It's pretty similar, really. You can see the first Origins album a bit better there. But either way, both covers just show that he'll always be the real spaceman of Kiss. No offence, Tommy Thayer. When you open this CD case, when you open this really nice CD case, in this sleeve bit here, you get this fold out. On one side is a, suppose, don't know how well I'll be able to show you, but on one side is a small poster of the front cover. Again, I think you can see more detail there, Ace and his Kiss days there. So you get on one side is a small poster of the front cover, and the other side, I'm not going to be able to show the whole thing. But what this is basically a detailed write-up or review of the album. So I'm just going to pause for a minute so I can fold this back up. So in regards to the track list, Ace Frehley is much more of a guitarist than he is a singer. No offence. So with that in mind, all the songs on here that Ace has picked to cover are all very guitar driven. And the big thing with this album is that Ace Frehley is performing the songs his own way. In one or two of the songs, he adds his own lyric or changes the odd lyric. Another great thing about this CD is that it is a mixture of well-known and lesser-known songs. In both cases, though, these songs are being given a new lease of life and getting introduced to a new or different kind of audience. The first song Ace covers is the song "Good Times, Bad Times" by Led Zeppelin. This is an early Led Zeppelin song, and even though we all know that Ace Frehley is no Robert Plant when it comes to singing, Ace does a very good job at making the song suit his own singing style. So yeah, he does a great vocal on this song, as well as some good fast-paced guitar playing to match it as well. The second song being covered is the song "Never in My Life" by Mountain. This song is one example of Ace Frehley covering a lesser-known song, as the only Mountain song people seem to know is their classic song "Mississippi Queen." And like the previous song, Ace Frehley is no Leslie West when it comes to singing, but again he does a great vocal with him performing the vocals in his own way. Third song being covered is appropriately Space Trucking by Deep Purple. This is one of the songs that got released as a single, and with Ace Frehley being the spaceman or the space ace, I suppose it would be rude for him not to cover this song, really. Ace has said he's had this cover sitting about for a few years, but parts of this song were redone for this album, and it's well-established American rock keyboardist Rob Sabino who provides a great keyboard performance to this song. Rob Sabino and Ace Frehley are from the same area and have known each other for years. One thing you may notice is a slight lyric change where he sings the title as Space Ace Trucking. Very appropriate. Fourth song being covered is the song I'm Down by the Beatles. The original song was a non-album B-side for the Beatles, so it's another example of Ace covering a lesser-known song, really. And I must admit, this cover is one of my favourite songs on this album. And it's the other song on this covers album that got released as a single. Another thing about this song is that it features former Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie and current Motley Crue guitarist John Five playing a guitar solo. The fifth song being covered is the Rolling Stones classic Jumping Jack Flash. Like the song Space Trucking, Ace also plays bass on this song as well as guitars. The main thing you notice with this song is that Ace Frehley shares lead vocal duties with Lita Ford. Both Ace and Lita Ford work really well together. They've done a great job sharing vocals on a song on the first Origins album, and this is another great job of them sharing vocal duties on a rock classic. Lita does the main bit of singing while Ace sings a bit of the chorus and towards the end of the song. Hang on. Yeah, that's better. Lita's great vocal performance really does take the song up a notch. The sixth song being covered is the song Politician by Cream. Overall, Ace doesn't do a bad job with this song, and it's the other song on the CD to feature John Five playing co-lead guitar. The seventh song being covered is the Kinks' classic Lola. This catchy song can be a hard song to play, but Ace Frehley, in his own way and style, does a good job at covering this song. And like the opening track of this CD, it features his current girlfriend, Lara Cove, I think her name is. And she does perform some really nice backing vocals on this classic rock song. The eighth song being covered is the Humble Pie song 30 Days in the Hole. This is the second song on the CD to feature a guest lead vocalist, and it's none other than Robin Zander from Cheap Trick. The original singer of this song is British singer Steve Marriott, who is regarded as a very influential rock singer. Anyway, Robin Zander does a solid job singing this song. The ninth song being covered is called Manic Depression, which is by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. This song features one of my favourite guitar players as a celebrity guest, and it's Bruce Kulick, who was in Kiss from the mid-80s till the mid-90s. Bruce Kulick has also played with Meatloaf and Grand Funk Railroad too, and like John Five, he is a very versatile guitarist. I must admit, I think having two former Kiss lead guitarists from different eras joining forces to take on a Jimi Hendrix song should be pretty epic. Bruce performs most of the guitar solo, and him and Ace solo off towards the end of the song. I must admit though, I do find this song a bit too all over the place for my liking, and that's a massive shame as I have huge man love for both Ace Frehley and Bruce Kulick. The 10th song being covered is the song Kicks by Paul Revere and the Raiders. This is another example of Ace covering and bringing a more obscure song to a newer audience. And this 60s deep cut is the first of two songs on this CD that was originally written by Barry Mann and Cynthia Whale. I think I've pronounced her surname right. The song does feature a catchy guitar riff and is considered an early example of an anti-drug song. Ace Frehley really does put his own spin on this song by adding his own 3-part harmony guitar solo. And he had to do that as the original song didn't actually have a guitar solo. The second to last song being covered is the song "We Gotta Get Out of This Place" by the Animals. This is the other Man Whale composition on this CD, and like Space Trucking, he's had this cover sitting around for a few years. The song itself has been covered many times by many well-known artists over the years, and is considered an anti-Vietnam political type song. The song features some good fast-paced guitar work and a great solo and vocal performance to go with it. The last song being covered is, of course, a Kiss song. It's the song simply titled "She." This is an early Kiss song that was written when the band was called Wicked Lester, and this cover performance on here is all about Ace Frehley's solo band members. Jeremy Ashbrook, Ryan Spencer Cook, and Philip Schaus all play guitar and sing on this track, and Philip Schaus also plays bass too on this track. Ace Frehley does play guitar on this song, but he lets his bandmates do the singing, and they do a great job too. I must admit, I'm not sure who actually who's playing the guitar solo or parts of the guitar solo on this song. But whether it's the guitars or the singing, I'm sure most of us would have preferred Ace Frehley to have taken a more centre stage on this song, if that makes sense. So, overall, this is a solid covers album. I will admit some of these covers are better than others. But even so, all of these songs have had an impact on Ace Frehley's career in some way or another. So all these songs have this personal touch to them. You can really sense the enjoyment and the passion from Ace on these songs. Big thing I'll say about this album is that it is very well produced. And Ace Frehley himself is credited as the main producer, but there is a co-producer as well. Some people who knew the original songs well would say that the songs of this CD are a bit overproduced, shall we say. And me personally, I do prefer the first Origins CD that he did. And I can't see Ace Frehley releasing a third Origins album. The last thing I will say before I say goodbye, is that I'd love Ace Frehley to cover a Hawkwind song. I think he has the voice and the character to pull off a Hawkwind song, like Silver Machine, for example. I will put a link to the song Silver Machine by Hawkwind below, and you'll see what I mean. And I'll also put links for the music videos for Space Trucking and I'm Down, both of which are great music videos. Anyway, that's it for this latest CD review. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, leave a nice little comment below, and please check out my other CD reviews and playlists I created too. Cheers.